them to safety, where they were medically evaluated by Truckee Fire. 2 of the 6 skiers have been transported to a hospital for treatment. 4 guides with 11 clients were returning from a 3-day trip at the Frog Lake Huts, popular among backcountry enthusiasts.
A Savannah, Georgia elementary school teacher was killed Monday morning in a traffic collision after authorities say an illegal alien fleeing federal immigration officers crashed into her car. Savannah Chatham County Public Schools announced that the victim was Dr. Linda Davis, a teacher at Hess School. The male driver who hit her was identified as 38-year-old Oscar Vasquez Lopez, who sustained non-life-threatening injuries. He faces homicide charges after running a red light while evading ICE arrest. Lopez is a Guatemalan national with a final order of removal issued by a federal judge in 2024. Georgia Congressman Buddy Carter says this is what happens when you have 4 years of an open border policy under Joe Biden and the Democrats.
This is what happens when you have essentially an extension of the defund the police movement that we have now with the Democrats like John Ossoff, who are demonizing ICE and encouraging people not to comply, not to conform to ICE, and to resist ICE.
New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez not only embarrassed herself but the whole country when she stumbled and stuttered through trying to answer a simple question at the Munich Security Conference.
Would and should the U.S. actually commit U.S. troops to defend Taiwan if China were to move?
I think that this is such a, I think that this is of course a very longstanding policy of the United States.
New York Post columnist Miranda Devine says this woman is an embarrassment.
No, J.D. Vance also urged AOC to go read a book. That might help rather than sort of uttering these Instagram-ready inanities, which seems to be her entire MO. There's no excuse for her going and not being able to answer a question on Taiwan, which surely is one of the most obvious questions that you're going to be asked in a foreign policy forum. And I think Donald Trump was right when he said that AOC and Gavin Newsom going to Munich and parading their incompetence is an embarrassment to this nation.
And finally, pro-life lawmakers are trying to put a stop to chemical abortions with drugs obtained through the mail. Chris Woodward explains.
Chemical abortions are responsible for most abortions today. In many cases, the abortion drugs taken by the mother were provided by someone from out of state. Stephen Ertelt of Life News says states are taking action by approving or considering measures that prevent mail-order abortions.
If you're wanting to get the abortion pill, you have to go to somebody in person to get that. And of course, in pro-life states where abortions are not legal, that's not going to be something that can be done. So it stops that practice. It protects women who are being killed and being injured by these dangerous abortion drugs. And of course, it protects unborn babies.
In 2025, the Ethics and Public Policy Center looked at insurance data and found that 1 in 10 women taking the abortion pill experience a severe adverse event. Meanwhile, nearly half of the states have filed a brief in support of Louisiana's law challenging a Biden-era rule that expanded access to abortion drugs through mail and telehealth. I'm Chris Woodward.
More news available online at afn.net and download the AFN mobile app for your Apple or Android device. I'm Rusty P.
Looking to take the next step in your education? Blue Mountain Christian University offers graduate degree programs designed for working adults who want to grow professionally and personally. With graduate studies in business, education, and kinesiology, BMCU combines academic excellence with a Christian worldview. With flexible and hybrid formats and supportive faculty, you can pursue a graduate degree while balancing work, family, and calling. Learn more at bmc.edu.
Welcome to Today's Issues, offering a Christian response to the issues of the day. Here's your host, Tim Wildmon, President of the American Family Association.
All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Today's Issues on the American Family Radio Network. Thanks for listening to AFR. Today's Wednesday, February the 18th, 2026, and I have three slightly better than average co-host today, but they are better than average. Ed Vitagliano, good morning, Brother Ed.
Good morning, and I like to think of myself as better than nothing.
Better than nothing.
Better. Well, all right, Wesley Wildmon, good morning, Wesley.
Good morning.
And
And I'm not yawning already.
No, you're
I'm
not.
Just stretching.
Don't yawn on this
I'm
show.
just stretching.
You'll miss it. This thing.
Just stretching.
All right, Fred Jackson, good morning.
Good morning to you.
All right, so that's what my wife says to me at church.
What's that?
Don't yawn.
Don't yawn.
Miss it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that makes you think about yawning.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
When you see somebody else yawn.
Yeah.
That's a real thing.
It is. It's catchy.
Contagious.
Sure
Yeah.
is.
I don't know the psychology behind that. Would you research that?
I'll get on it.
Okay.
I'm going to have to do it at my desk, though.
Okay.
It's all right because there's some Olympic hockey going on while I'm researching
Are they
that.
playing right now, this moment?
Canada's playing Chechnya. How do you pronounce it?
Chechnya.
Chechnya.
Yes.
I don't
Oh, you
believe
mean
they're-
right
that's a real
now?
place,
Right now
but
they're playing.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So
Real-
when is the USA team and the Canadian team have their blood match?
Well, the U.S. this afternoon plays Sweden, and
That's not That's not taken for granted.
That is not. Sweden's loaded with NHL players. That's going to be a tough match. That could be the U.S. team's downfall. They may not even get to play Canada. So
Yeah.
Big game tomorrow.
The women, USA and Canada women.
Yes, that's a big
Hey,
Hockey?
people, Wesley and I are just going to step back here and let Ed and Fred go at it on what we can look forward to for the hockey coming up.
In the hockey rivalry that is the U.S. and Canada.
Yeah.
My expectation is that the U.S. women will win handily. And if the U.S. plays Canada in men's hockey, Canada will win handily.
Okay. Hey, I have a question. Women's hockey, which I've never watched.
Yeah.
I think I've maybe seen a few clips of. Do they fight?
No. In the Olympics,
They have some
they're not allowed to
some
fight.
cat fights going on there or not?
They hit each other. But
Do they?
But it's not like the men, where you see men just get flattened
How
against
did I
the boards.
not know that that was a real sport? I didn't know that women played hockey.
Oh, they play hockey.
And I'll say this: the women's hockey is more fun to watch than like the WNBA in basketball.
What do the colleges
They're
have?
real skill there
Yeah.
too.
Yes, they do.
Colleges got women hockey.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
It is good hockey.
It's good hockey.
Wow.
All right.
It really is.
Let me withdraw that. I did not mean to insult the WNBA. That's unfair.
They have a lot of listeners who
and they
play
have a
for
lot.
the
They have a lot of
WNBA.
skill. I guess I was comparing how fun it is to watch women's hockey as opposed to
Layups.
yeah.
Okay.
I guess I should say
I
that.
got you.
Softball. I'm a baseball guy, and softball's a lot of fun to watch too. And
Fast pitch softball?
Yeah, fast pitch softball.
That's very fun to watch.
That's a real sport
Actually,
too.
actually,
Exactly.
girls basketball, there's a lot of skill there. They don't dunk.
Yeah.
Okay, they don't dunk and they don't go flying around, but they can pass and they can shoot.
Yes.
And
I withdraw my
yes, please.
unwise
prepare-
comment.
We will get flooded with emails and texts and so forth that about your
It
offensive.
was a sexist comment.
It was a sexist
and
comment.
it was unnecessary. And from
All right.
someone who can't jump a foot off the ground, I shouldn't have been. I shouldn't have been saying anything.
I'm not going to disagree with that. All right, you're listening to today's issues. A lot of things coming up on this program. Listen, there is something called America Reads the Bible, and it's going on in Washington D.C. at the Museum of the Bible, and we're going to have a guest on at the bottom of the hour to talk about this. This is Wesley, you're participating in this, right?
I am.
So this is going to be what is this going to be exactly here?
Now there's a lot of people from different ministries involved in this, so everyone's going to have a slightly different role. But for us at AFA, we've got 5 staff members that are going, and the idea or what they're going to do is read the Bible from Genesis to Revelation out loud, and they have scheduled slots that's continuous. I'm sure there's a break at night. I haven't seen the schedule, and I'm not sure. I know it's going to last about a week. So it's a long. It's
April 18th to the 25th.
Who's representing us? Because I didn't get an invitation. Did you,
either.
Ed?
I didn't either.
Did you,
In
Fred?
fact,
No.
So
you can take
we
my
know
spot
about.
because I'm only doing it.
No, we don't
because-
want to take it.
Yeah,
We
want
want to
you-
complain about it.
We want you to read. We want you to read the Bible out loud to the world.
Well, it's buddy.
You don't have an accent.
No, I don't. Well,
You're very.
Once I leave Mississippi, I do.
Right.
But right now, I don't.
Right now, you know. But so, what are you gonna? What's your role? What part of the Bible are you gonna be reading?
Zechariah 2-6.
What does it say?
What's that say? I actually had to read it the other day, which is, so they asked us, everyone that's participating in it, they asked us to read it and have it videoed by your team, just in case something comes up and you get the flu or the plane gets
Somebody has to
delayed.
fill in for you.
So they'll play the.
Oh, I got you.
They'll play you.
I got you.
So I did that the other day, and they asked us very specifically to read from the King James Easy Read version. And so I don't have that Bible in my office, so we printed that off and I read it, and there was nothing easy about it. And that was the irony in it. And I got through reading it and I asked AFS, our team who videoed me,
American Family Studios.
They videoed me reading my portion that I'm going to read up there just in case something happens. And I got through, and I was the last one of our team at AFA that read. And I got through, and they could just see it all over my face that, like, there was nothing easy about that. They said, well, actually, everyone in here that's read before you said there was nothing easy about that. Anyways, that translation I do not recommend if you're wanting an easy read.
I tell you what, I won't put you on the spot right now, but next week, you're on
Okay.
with us on Tuesday. If you could be prepared to read from which book of the Bible?
Zechariah. Now,
you're going to be
20-minute
reading.
read.
So what?
15-minute read.
What now?
It's about a 15-minute read. I don't know.
You
if
just
want
get
me-
the audio from what they recorded.
Yeah, I've already got to record it. By the way, I
want you to do it live.
I could do a synopsis if you're serious, but I don't think you want me reading it live. Okay.
All right, well,
who else besides you is
Buddy Smith,
participating?
Walker Wildmon, Jenna Ellis, myself, and I believe there's one more. But
Yeah.
I'll
All
look.
right.
Yeah.
Who's the other one, Brent?
Debbie Wuth now.
There we go.
Yeah.
Our voter guide.
Yep. There we go.
All right, so it's called America Reads the Bible. It's at the Bible Museum from April 18th to the 25th in Washington, D.C. And it's going to be people from ministries from the U.S., maybe around the world, and they're going to read through the Bible out loud.
And at the bottom of the hour, we have a representative.
We do.
Bunni Pounds, who's the president of Christians Engaged.
Yeah.
She's kind of the visionary behind this idea to do this.
Right. All right, Fred, what's your first news story there?
First news story comes from California, and right now there is an urgent search underway for 9 missing what's called backcountry skiers. They've had a huge snowstorm that has hit that area of the country, and these skiers, they started out 2-3 days ago. They were on a track through some very rough country. Snowstorm hits. There is an avalanche, and 6 of the skiers have been rescued, but 9 are still missing. So a very kind of serious situation out there. For people to get involved with this kind of expedition, I'll call it, you got to be pretty tough to want to get into this rough backcountry. There are little huts along the way of this backcountry trek, and they managed to be fine the first 2 days, but this avalanche hit, and the rescue of the first 6 came in. They were in contact with these 6. They were able to get to them, but this is still very, very dangerous.
This is the Lake Tahoe area?
Lake Tahoe area. So very dangerous, but they have crews that have expertise in that kind of search and rescue. And we're supposed to get an update this morning sometime on how things are going. But
So
9 still missing.
Yeah, this wasn't a ski resort.
No.
For recreational. This is sort of cross-country backpack skiing. I mean,
Yes.
this is tough stuff.
It is.
But an avalanche hit,
Mm-hmm.
and 9 people missing.
Yes.
And as of this hour.
Yes.
And it's such tough country. It's not easy to rescue people either. You can't just drive your, four-wheel drive along a road. These I guess they have to use choppers and people going on skis to try to find them with equipment.
It's described as rugged, mountainous terrain of up to 4 miles. So this is you have to be in really good shape to start out on these things.
Have you ever been near or seen an avalanche? I mean, you've lived in the mountains.
Just video.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you?
Just video.
Okay. Yeah, just watching the video, it's terrifying.
It's like when you see video of a tsunami or something, you just go, you forget how powerful nature is.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And these avalanches, I mean, some of these people, they're going to look for them because you can survive with a pocket of air for a while. But the power of it, you could be buried within, underneath 10 feet of snow or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
All right, so that's a big story out of Lake Tahoe, 9 people missing.
that story, by the way, does appear on our American Family News, AFN.net, our website. So
we encourage people to go there.
Yep, absolutely.
AFN.net. That's our news service. Take advantage of it. AFN.net.
It's free.
Yep. Yes, it is. Next story.
All right. We told you yesterday about this shooting at a rink in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. And there's an update to this. We do know from the reporting now that the shooter, who is dead, he killed himself after the incident there at this hockey rink. He went by Robert Dorgan, but also went by Roberta Dorgan. Now, since this story broke a couple of days ago, you may have seen pictures of this guy. But apparently what we're learning is that his family was very upset with his decision to carry out these transition on his body, and this resulted in a lot of family tension. But we are learning now more about the victims. And folks, the victims include the 2 people that he shot were his ex-wife and killed, Rhonda Dorgan, and their adult son, Aidan Dorgan. And this happened at this hockey rink. There were a bunch of high school, middle school kids playing hockey. There's video out there. You can see it. The kids are playing hockey. They hear this pop, pop, pop. They're not sure what it is, but then somebody says this is gunfire. They scramble away from this. What we do know from the sheriff there in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, is that other people who were watching the game kind of came to the rescue and were able to keep this guy from shooting and killing other people. Now, there were 3 other victims, and of those 3 others, 2 of those victims who are in critical condition were the mom and dad of this guy's ex-wife, all right, of Rhonda Dorgan, who was killed. So a horrible situation.
That's more family members then.
Yes.
Yeah.
All the way around, a very horrible situation. But as we've been talking about, this follows a shooting just 10 days ago in Canada at Tumbler Ridge in British Columbia, where close to 10 people were killed there. This was a school shooting. Again, a transgender involved. And in the last couple of years, we've had a transgender who's been the shooter at a school in Nashville, and fairly recently in Minneapolis, another school. So
what about Orlando?
Four incidents in recent months and years involving transgenders. And it's absolutely remarkable, man, that the mainstream media tries to cover up the transgender aspect of this.
Why do they try to cover it up?
Well, because it doesn't suit the narrative that there is something very wrong psychologically with these people. And also because public policy, in many cases, has supported these people. And of course, we've had in recent days, we've had the stories about the medical groups, including the American Medical Association, that is now backing away from endorsing surgeries on these people, saying these young people are not settled enough in their mind to make these kinds of decisions. And we had the court case recently where a young woman who bought into counseling from various groups and went ahead with what I call mutilation surgery. She won a court case of $2 million in that case. And so that's why these medical groups, I think, have backed off from endorsing. There's a lot going on that front right now.
Also, the person that assassinated Charlie Kirk was dating or a boyfriend to, a girlfriend to.
Yes, it's true.
Of a person that was transitioning. It was from a boy to a girl.
Yes.
So what are y'all suggesting? That
there's mental illness to those that are transgender.
Well, let me just say too, we are not saying that all people who are transgender transitioning pose a danger in terms of shooting. Okay. However, what we are saying, and what conservatives are saying, and people who come from a more traditional viewpoint, worldview, is that the desire to quote unquote transition should be regarded as a mental illness like it used to be. Okay. And that a lot more study needs to be done on the psychological impact of the drugs that people take to quote unquote transition. Because this guy, now he was no young person.
Right.
He's 56 years old, Robert Dorgan, who is the man identified as the shooter. He killed himself. He's no spring chicken. He's an old dude, and he was undergoing bodily changes. I don't want to say any more than that because it just gets grotesque. As the result of taking drugs. And I don't think enough. You got the mental illness part, same as you would for someone who has an eating disorder, okay?
And then the medication.
And then the medication on top of that, and then you throw into it the volatility of these people who demand that everyone around them support what they're doing, and the anger that builds. And apparently it sounds as if this Robert Dorgan got quite a bit of pushback from his family members. So those three things, the mental illness, the effect of drugs, and the anger and volatility of people who are going through this when they don't get the support they demand, is increasingly a recipe for potential disaster. Let me put it that way.
Why is it that the burden by the progressives, the liberal media, the burden is always on those of us who reject this? In other words, for example, I don't know the whole dynamics of his family situation, but evidently it was so intense that he decided to kill him.
Yeah.
Okay, now he who is transitioning, now you can get your mind messed up with all kind of drugs, including these kinds of drugs, which I don't know what all they are. But the burden is always immediately on, oh, you didn't accept him, therefore you caused him to react in a violent way. You see how this narrative goes? It's never that
you shouldn't murder somebody.
Yeah, well, obviously that you shouldn't murder anybody. You should commit violence against somebody. There's no excuse for that. You're personally accountable for your actions. But what about the family members in this case, and family members all over who have to deal with this situation? I can't imagine. He had sons, right?
Had children.
So he had children, and hey, who goes in and tells the kids, hey, your daddy's becoming a girl? Oh, really? Oh, well, I'm good with that. Yeah, I want. How can I support that?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, can you imagine?
Well,
to finish this, so I'm tired of hearing the burden being put on the children or the wife of or the parents of who disagree that somebody should try to change their sex. Go ahead.
Well, I don't think I'm oversimplifying this by saying the starting point is when you reject the created order, you reject God, you reject the world that he made, you reject the fact that he made mankind male and female. You start off with all that, then what are you left with? You are left with what we see in this country, which is a hyper-individualism. Every individual gets to decide what his or her life is going to be like, even if he wants to become a she, and everybody else has to support that because that's what makes them happy. To me, that's where this comes from.
And it's the rejection. Notice almost all the people who say that the burden should be on the family or the parents to accept the transitioning of their family member. They don't believe in God. or certainly they don't believe in the God of the Bible.
Right.
That has a order and creates people the way they're supposed to be. God doesn't make a man. God doesn't make a male and then say, "Well, I'm going to make him feel like a girl."
Right.
I'm being elementary with my language there, but you understand what I'm saying. God doesn't make mistakes on giving you your sex, and so. But I think most of these people, they either don't believe in God, or they don't believe in moral values in any way that would impact a situation like that.
Well, I'll just say this one thing and then toss it to Wesley. I heard it explained this way. This makes a lot of sense to me. We used to say to people who felt like they weren't in their right body, a young man who thinks he's a woman, we used to treat the thoughts and say, well, you are male, young man, so let's help you change the way you think and feel inside, because that is a sign of something gone wrong in your mind. Now, what we do is we say, we accept what you think in your mind. Now we're going to help you change your body. And that requires surgery and drugs, and that is only exacerbating the confusion in the mind.
And if you think about it, they only limit that way of thinking to a few areas, because they wouldn't do that if I felt like I identify as a millionaire. I don't get $1 million.
Right.
So they do limit it to these types of issues. Another thing too, I was thinking about the other day, a lot of American society now, you are seeing culture shifting since the election pretty rapidly back toward a more conservative, traditional worldview. I mean, and we talked about that before with companies and campuses getting rid of DEI, getting rid the pushback on wokeness and all that. However, you are seeing the far left have been in control of every possible institution across the country for the last 20 years, and this is what we're getting. I mean, think about that for a second. They've been in control of the entertainment. They've been in control of education. They've been largely in control of politics and legislation. And now we have. My point is, they have supported themselves all the way up to the point of holding you at gunpoint, air quotes, gunpoint. Everything up to that point, they've got their way and everything. And this is what it's come to in a lot of ways.
All right, we're going to take a time out right here. Very, very sad, tragic situation. But this is yet another mass murder situation by a person that's transitioning. And to Ed's point, I'm wondering how much of this is directly related to the drugs these people are taking.
And let me just add this too. There is a lot of talk about, outside the transgender issue, the antidepressants that young people have been given for decades now, with other mass shootings, beginning with Columbine. Are these drugs playing a role in making these people flip out?
Yeah. All right, we'll be back in just a minute. We got a lot more to talk about. You're listening to Today's Issues on the American Family Radio Network.
It's my turn.
Here is your host for My Turn, Don Wildmon.
Over the centuries, man has devised countless methods of getting rich. Many of them worked on the presumption that one can get something for nothing. And there's always a sucker willing to believe that that is possible, that you can get something for nothing. Perhaps the most ingenious method of doing this, getting rich while getting something for nothing, was described in an advertisement of a cat and rat ranch. Now stay with me on this one. The 1875 ad appeared in American Treasury. It was a very catchy ad, and here's what it said. Glorious opportunity to get rich. And I can guarantee you, if you read the ad with an introduction like that, it would grab your attention, and it did. Here's the ad. It continued. We're starting a cat ranch in Lacone with 100,000 cats. Each cat will average 12 kittens a year. The cat skins will sell for 30 cents each. 100 men can skin 5,000 cats a day. We figure a daily profit of over $10,000. Now, that's a pretty good profit today, and it was certainly a good profit back in 1875. I mean, it's a good profit in anybody's book. But the ad got more interesting as it continued. Now, what shall we feed the cats? The ad asked. We'll start a rat ranch next door with 1 million rats. The rats will breed 12 times faster than the cats. So we'll have 4 rats a day to feed to each cat. Now, what shall we feed the rats? We will feed the rats the carcasses of the cats after they've been skinned. Now get this, we'll feed the rats to the cats and the cats to the rats and get the skins for nothing. Well, it's a pretty good idea if it would have worked, but it won't work. You don't get something for nothing. Life just doesn't work that way. If you want something from life which you don't have, the best way to acquire it is to work for it. Some things in life you can steal, but after you've stolen them, they still aren't yours. They still belong to the one you stole from. But when you work for that which you want and get it, it's yours. Consider the above bit of foolishness with this story of a lady named Amelia Jenkins of Loxley, Alabama. When she was 41 years of age, her husband died and left her with a $10,000 mortgage on an 80-acre farm. She had 10 children to care for, the oldest only 15 years of age. The family lived on the farm in an unpainted cabin. In that apparently hopeless situation, Amelia decided she would make a go of it with the help of God. Without any charity or government help, she started working the farm and raising the children. She cleaned the land, planted the crops, chopped and picked the cotton. For years she saved her money to pay off the debt. Amelia worked hard and prayed for God's guidance. Come Sunday, the family went to church. She saw 7 of her children graduate from college. In 18 years, she saw the farm grow from 80 acres to 1,100 acres. The farm equipment went from bare necessities to the very latest modern equipment. The farm's annual gross income grew tremendously. All of this came to a black mother and her family because of hard work and right living. Amelia Jenkins once said, "Anybody can be somebody. Take what you have and make what you want. It can be done because it has been done." Like we said earlier, the best way to get what you want is to work for it. Anyone should know that you can't feed the cats to the rats and the rats to the cats and come out ahead.
This has been My Turn with Don Wildmon, a production of the American Family Association.
Jesus said, "Let the little children come to me, and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these." Matthew 19:14.
American Family Radio. This is Today's Issues. Email your comments to comments@afr.net. Past broadcasts of Today's Issues are available for listening and viewing in the archive at afr.net. Now, back to more of Today's Issues.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to Today's Issues. That's the name of this show on the American Family Radio Network. We're here every Monday through Friday. Friday, we have trivia time. Have a lot of fun, so if you want to join us for that, that would be like in 2 days from now. Trivia Friday. We'll be here. I'm Tim with Ed, Wesley, and Fred. And we want to thank Timothy and Denise, or Tim. They're here from South Louisiana. They came by to see us here.
Yeah.
They didn't bring any crawfish, which was very disappointing. And I told them that.
Do you like crawfish?
I like crawfish, yeah.
I don't.
First
of all, it's too much work.
Well, no, I don't. No, I don't do that. I'm talking about. I'm talking about. You go to the restaurant. And you put crawfish on top of salmon
or pasta or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Now that I do like.
No, I don't clean. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't go get them.
No chance.
Do you, Fred? You go get your own crawfish?
Listen, I prefer a crawfish is a little lobster.
Yes.
If I'm going to take apart a shell, it's going to be lobster.
Yeah, it's going to be something more.
When it comes to lobsters and crawfish, Fred goes, go big or go home.
That's about it.
You like crawfish, Wesley?
Oh yeah, I love crawfish.
I like crawfish, but I don't know. I don't work for them. But they do in South Louisiana. That's where they harvest them.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway,
Hey, our guest that just came by and visited, if you're listening and you want to come by and visit, you can go to afa.net/visits with an S.
Yeah.
Visits with an S. And you can register there and let us know what day you want to come, and we'd show you around and get to visit, just like Tim and Elise.
Yeah.
They do need to sign up,
It's
though.
Tim and
in
Denise.
advance.
Denise.
Yeah, they're from South Louisiana, and they were. I told them I was going to be in Lafayette this summer, and I wanted to give me some restaurant recommendations.
Oh yeah,
good idea.
Yeah, so Wesley's baseball team. He's got a 10U baseball team, and they're going to be going down for a big
tournament.
Yeah, a national youth baseball tournament.
Well, yeah. So over the past winter break, I was asked to coach a team to represent Mississippi, in Louisiana. So every state will have an opportunity to put a team together for their age group to represent their state, and we're all going to meet up in Lafayette, Louisiana.
You're doing that for the state of Mississippi?
So I'll be coaching the state of Mississippi.
Man, I'm proud of you, man.
Well, I'm his daddy.
Well,
I deserve a little credit here.
I'm still proud of you, Wesley.
That's right. There's a little nomination process, and then
that was hurtful. I thought we were friends.
I love you.
Okay.
But you, to be honest, you deserved it because you were trying to shoehorn yourself into Wesley's moment.
And it worked.
It did.
Hey,
we're talking about Tim right
at
now.
the end of the summer.
Anyway, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be going and playing against teams. Like Wesley said, I guess Texas is probably going to have more than one team. Hopefully,
Texas.
That's not fair.
That's right. Usually Texas has 2 or 3 teams.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably still not fair.
I know.
That's right.
Size
Yeah.
of the state.
Okay. We want fairness.
But
and you love baseball.
I love baseball.
So this will be a fun outing to cheer on your just one grandson.
That's right.
Yeah, but I got 5 playing the travel baseball this spring.
5 playing, but 1's going to this
Well,
trip.
good luck seeing your house.
We're going to wear out some car tires. I'll tell you that right now. From now till June. All right. So we talked earlier in the hour about there's going to be this big deal at the Bible Museum in Washington D.C. and it's going to we're going to talk to the person who came up with the idea.
The visionary.
What now?
The visionary.
The visionary. I thought you said a missionary, and I didn't know that.
No,
you said a visionary. Okay, America Reads the Bible, and the president of Christians Engaged is with us now, Bunni Pounds. Bunni, welcome to today's issues.
Awesome, guys. Well, it's great to be with you, Tim, and the gang.
Well, thank you very much. Tell us about yourself and your ministry.
Yeah, I spent 16 years in political consulting and campaign management working for members of Congress, many that are in the administration today, like Sean Duffy and Lee Zeldin. But yeah, I started a ministry December 2019 with the kind of a frustration I had was that we were continuing to talk about Christians not voting, but we weren't actually mobilizing them like a campaign. So I started a ministry called Christians Engaged with a pledge or a commitment from Christians to pray, vote, and engage regularly. We went from 79,000 Christians in Texas to now, 6 years later, we are serving 1 million people in our voter mobilization system from a nonpartisan Christian perspective. And we have a lot of things going on, a young adult program, curriculum, to teach Christians how to get involved in campaign school and church outreach program and everything. We love partnering with AFA and with iVoter Guide and all our friends there with you guys.
Amen. The more Christians we can get involved in government and politics, the better. I don't know where we got this crazy idea that Christians need to stay away from politics because it's dirty. I want to go with, you know what? The world's dirty.
I've been to some church meetings.
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, and the fact is, when Christians got out of it, got away from it, it only got worse.
Right.
So that'll tell you something.
So the idea that you can escape politics and government and hold yourself, more pious or more holy is ridiculous because because laws are made that we all have to live by. Well, who do we want making the laws? Do we sign me up for the pagans?
Right. Or the atheists, yeah.
No, we want more Christians involved in lawmaking from the city council to the White House, because not that we want to impose our religion on people, is that we want to stand up for our moral values and our constitutional rights. Bunny knows this, and our constitutional rights that are at risk here, and our liberty and our freedom and our way of life. All those things are impacted by politics. Again, I say from the city council all the way to Washington, D.C. All right, so you got something, Bunny, coming up that America Reads the Bible. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I was in the Museum of the Bible 2.5 years ago with a whole group of young people that we take into Washington, and had an encounter with the Lord about Ezra. It hit me. I just finished a draft on the book of Nehemiah, of a new book that's coming out that I wrote May 19, called Stepping Up to Lead, Rebuilding a Nation in the Footsteps of Nehemiah. But it hits me that we need to have an Ezra moment in our nation before we can see a generation of Nehemiahs arise. It's really hard for me and our team, and I know for you guys too, to get Christians activated in these spaces as leaders. And I think a lot of it is that we don't have, a daily devotion with the Lord. We're not actually going to the Word to give us strength and to give us identity. And so I had this crazy idea 2.5 years ago. Wouldn't it be awesome if our national leaders from all spheres of influence, all demographics and denominations, would humble themselves and say, we need the Bible every day just to make it as leaders in all these spheres of influence, and we're calling the American people back to daily Bible reading and discipleship. And what if we did that in the backdrop of the 250th birthday of America?
Amen.
So we stepped out in faith, and this is happening. 475 of our national leaders, 6 cabinet members, 20 members of Congress, 6 governors, Hollywood stars, producers, Dallas Jenkins, Andy Irwin, Colton Dixon, worship leaders. We're going to read the Bible from Genesis to Revelation in front of the American people over 7 days.
Well, Bunny, we have 5 people from our staff here are coming to Washington.
Yes, you guys are, and you're one of our ministry partners, and we're so thrilled.
Yeah, but I'm just curious. I didn't get an invitation myself personally, and I just wonder how that was. It an oversight on your staff's part?
Don't fall for this, Bunny.
Or was I like I intentionally left off? But yeah,
you're going to have to talk to the internal team on why you didn't get invited to read.
This is called the runaround. This is what we get.
No, I think you're going to have to talk to Wesley and Walker. Okay. I think is what she's saying.
No, I probably didn't get invited because they said Dad probably doesn't want to fly again.
Because he flies a lot. Now because I'm in the room, I'm going to hand it off to Buddy. that's a legit runaround. After you get 3 people.
As to why I didn't get an invitation?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
go ahead.
I do have one
on a more serious note.
Yeah, I do have one quick question, Bunny, before we let you go. You had mentioned just a few minutes ago about young people, getting young people engaged. Do you see an interest among, I know this is just an in general question, do you see a growing interest among young people in the Constitution, our founding principles, and the governing process?
Gen Z wants to go on mission, and they want to strip it all away. Yes, they're addicted to their phones and social media, but they're not happy about it. And what we're finding is that they want to get back to the simplicity of prayer, worship, and the Word of God. We're having a Gen Z summit while America Reads the Bible is happening. We're gathering 180 18 to 30-year-olds to come to Washington, to go on a Capitol tour with the Bartons. We're going to have members of Congress speak to them. It's called 1630 Gen Z Summit, The Return. People can find that information at America Reads the Bible. But we are seeing a hunger in Gen Z, and we've got Gen Z influencers that are going to be reading the Bible in this event. We see a hunger there. They want it all, to strip away. They want to get back to the simplicity of Christianity and family.
A Gen Z influencer. Ed and I, what we need to become?
What?
Baby boomer influencers.
Baby boomer influencers. No, you know why that's a bad idea?
Why is that?
Because you first have to know how to use your phone in order to be influenced.
Be an influencer?
To be an influencer and to be influenced.
All right, Bunni Pounds has been with us, president of Christians Engaged. And there's we'll talk more about this when we get closer to the event, but there's America Reads the Bible, and they're going to be reading the Bible out loud at the Bible Museum in Washington, D.C., sort of representative of reading the Bible for our country, April 18th through the 25th, and AFA and AFR, we're participating. It's really a event to glorify the Word of God, the Holy Bible. To our, as it is the foundation of our country, really, if you think about it.
And Bunny, give your website for your ministry, Christians Engaged, so people can check that out.
Yeah, go to AmericaReadsTheBible.com to come to D.C. and join the live stream, and then ChristiansEngaged.org. Take the pledge to pray, vote, and engage, and help us change the country.
Thank you, Bunny. Take care. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, that's Bunni, B-U-N-N-I. I've
Pounds.
never seen Bunny spelled that way. That's a unique spelling. All right, you're listening to Today's Issues on the American Family Radio Network. Tim, Ed, and Wesley and Fred are here. We're all here, and we thank you for listening to American Family Radio. What's your next story, Fred?
Big court case is underway in California. Social media is on trial. The plaintiff in the case is a 20-year-old woman who's identified by the initials KGM. She claims her early use of social media addicted her to the technology and exacerbated depression and suicidal thoughts. Now, a lot of attention being paid to this trial, particularly today, because the CEO of Meta, Mark Zuckerberg, is being called to the stand to testify. Now, Greg Jarrett, who is the legal expert that Fox uses quite a bit.
Meta's Facebook, right? And other things.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Zuckerberg's going to be on the stand today. But Greg Jarrett says the plaintiffs challenging social media are going to have a very difficult task in front of them. Cut number 10.
The plaintiff in this case has two major problems. First, she was treated for years by two therapists, a psychiatrist, none of whom ever diagnosed her with social media addiction. So that a huge causation problem. She may not, in fact, suffer from addiction caused by social media, but depression caused by abuse at home. There's evidence of that. Second of all, her lawyers have to prove that the company's designed a defective product. That's a very high burden because the defense says, wait a minute, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, they're not defective at all. And instead, the plaintiff misused the product with her own chronic engagement. It's called personal responsibility. And where's parental control in this? Was mom oblivious?
So there you have it.
Hey, you know what? So this, okay. All right, again, this is a person who is suing Meta.
Yes.
Which is Mark Zuckerberg's company. It used to be called something else, but Facebook is their big product, right?
Uh-huh.
All right, and she's claiming she was forced to...
She's addicted to social media.
I'm shocked that she was able to get him on the stand in a court case like that, because that sounds to me like, listen, I know people get addicted to these social media sites, but it's not the fault of the owner of the company. I mean, we're going to say people are addicted to newspapers 25 years ago?
I think personally, this is not a legal statement, it's my personal opinion. I think we throw the word addiction around too lightly. Okay, now I know people can get addicted to substances, okay, because there is a physical response to drugs. But we say people are addicted to pornography. We say they're addicted to a particular television show. They're addicted to food. Now they're addicted to social media. I'm sorry. I'm just not buying that. These are behavior-driven habits that are chosen. Okay, and I guarantee you, John Piper once, the pastor, pretty well known in reform circles anyway, he once said that if you claim that you're addicted to pornography and someone put a gun to your head and said, you die if you click through to this website, that person's not going to click through. So when people talk about addiction, true addiction, I think, means you're swept away by biological realities and chemical reactions, and there is less responsibility for what you're doing. But this girl may have other mental issues. You don't get addicted in the same way as you do to tobacco,
especially
to social media.
Yeah, especially to file a lawsuit and sue a company over.
You could just get rid of your phone,
right? Yeah.
If you thought it was
like
that
I said, I'm shocked that.
Far be it from us to defend Facebook, okay?
Right, that's a good point. Yeah,
I mean, Facebook. I've never used Facebook personally, but I know a lot of people who have, and it was created with a wonderful purpose. I think, it's my own opinion. That is having people connect with one another.
Yeah,
and people, if used for the right reasons, it can be a great, benefit to your life. I think
as long as it doesn't influence elections. I'm just
what now?
I said as long as it doesn't influence elections. I was giving that the opposite side of it.
Okay.
Because you're right, it does have great.
Yeah, a lot of people, aren't addicted, but they use it for the right purposes. Talking about the social media, and again, I don't use social media personally, except that people send me something on Instagram or Facebook, and I'll click on it and look at it, but I don't engage in it on a daily basis myself and put stuff up and things like that. But so it says this lawsuit, Meta's CEO is expected to answer tough questions on Wednesday from attorneys representing a 20-year-old woman identified by the initials of KJM, who claim her early use of social media addicted her to the technology and exacerbated depression and suicidal thoughts. Meta Platforms and Google's YouTube are the two remaining defendants in the case, which TikTok and Snap have settled. Again, it just sounds like to me it's a money grab.
Let me just say.
What if it works? Are you gonna?
If it works, this is very dangerous to the First Amendment.
Free speech, yeah.
But let me say, for those who are listening, I am not saying that people don't develop habits, bad habits. We all have to wrestle with habits once ingrained to break it. But to me, addiction involves a loss of choice that requires outside intervention. Okay, you need some help to break free from something that is increasingly controlling your life, like an addiction to crystal meth or something. What you might have made the first choice to take it, but now your will has been captured. I think that's a biblical principle. Okay, you need outside intervention. The social media use is habitual, and you have the power to say, I'm not going to do it. If you see something else.
It's not a physical or chemical
dependency.
Dependency. And I will say this too. I retract my statement about it's a money grab. I don't know. I don't know this young lady. She's 20 years old. I'm just saying, when I look at this, I go, you can't, to me, hold the CEO of a company like Facebook responsible because you can't stop using it.
Right.
And it affects your mental state.
Listen,
I think if that's true, sign me up for her lawsuit and I want to be one of the class action defendants, because I'd like a little money from Mark Zuckerberg myself. I'm being facetious.
Let me just toss this one other thing in. I joke around about pizza. I actually don't eat that much pizza.
I do.
Okay, Wesley does. Okay, I joke around about being addicted to pizza. I'm not. Right. I try to make healthy choices. But if you allow this lawsuit to succeed, then what about people who say, I'm addicted to the buffet down the street? Their food is so good, I can't help myself, and now I'm 400 pounds. So I'm suing Bonanza, if they're still even in business, okay?
Right.
That opens the door to all kinds of abuse of the legal system.
Let me ask you one other question.
Okay.
Okay.
So the word disease has been used to describe alcoholism.
Oh, yeah.
I once heard a pastor say alcoholism is the only disease you can get by pouring a drink down your throat.
I'm following you.
Okay. In other words, to use the word disease is a way to escape personal responsibility for your actions. And so, do you want to get into that at all? You want to take a pass on that one?
I would just give you a simple answer to this. I think the use of the word disease was adopted at the same time that our culture decided we don't want to shame people who are struggling with an addiction.
Like alcoholism?
We call it a disease because what we're saying is they're not at fault. Once the alcohol has taken control of their lives, they're not at fault. They should not be shamed. I understand that impulse. I don't think we should shame people for when they have failed or fallen and gotten in the grip of something. But I think disease, let me just put it this way, I think that is an unfortunate choice of words because it's not the same as
I agree with you.
Cancer. I mean,
that's a disease.
That's a disease that you didn't ask for. And I guess technically some people may say, well, you smoked. I get that there are some exceptions, but a brain tumor, let's use that. That's a disease. That's an infirmity.
You just say only God knows why that happened.
Why that yes.
But for some, I do agree. For some things in our society, we've given excuses for people's behavior when they could control it if they wanted to try a little harder.
Yeah, and people can get free from these addictions. You can't get free from a brain tumor if the surgery doesn't work.
Yeah, and then also, too, of course, they can be, if people around them would hold them more accountable versus being more of a pass.
Yeah, but that's not to say, because I've known people, probably everybody listening has known people that there is a physical addiction to alcohol.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's compulsive.
Yeah.
That's why they call it alcoholism, and they can't help them. They can help themselves, but they can't help themselves.
Right.
Left alone, they can't help themselves, okay? Because they're going to go find that alcohol, that drink, that beer, that wine, that whatever, to give them that sensation that
sure.
their body's
demanding.
Their body's demanding it, and their body overrides their mental capacity or their ability to say no.
And that's why in a lot of cases when they're in recovery, they have a what do they call it, like a detox.
Yeah,
there's a
you have to go through detox before you can usually go to treatment.
But the bottom line is still, is somebody pouring that drink down your throat?
Yeah.
No,
true.
they're not. You are doing that, and that's part of the recovery
process.
And the AA even
take responsibility.
First step is take responsibility for your own actions, which is the road to recovery.
Yeah.
Right? All right. Fred, thank you.
You are welcome.
You just brought some positive. Fred, you brought some positive energy to our show today.
Yeah, I do my best.
Okay, well, we'll be Chris Woodward coming next. No, Steve Jordahl. Steve Paisley Jordahl coming next. We'll be back in 5 minutes.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast may not necessarily reflect those of the American Family Association or American Family Radio.
Faith, family, freedom. American Family Radio.
Where can you access instruction and inspiration from scholars, apologists, authors, preachers, and activists to deepen your Christian understanding? You could enroll in seminary, but a better way might be the AFA Cultural Institute. You'll find a collection of more than 50 informative inspirational video lectures with more to come. Visit stream.afa.net to experience the AFA Cultural Institute.
This is American Family Radio, a listener-supported ministry of the American Family Association.
American Family News, I'm Rusty Pugh. Dozens of emergency responders are trying to find missing skiers after an avalanche out west. Lillian Wu has the latest.
A search and rescue continues under treacherous conditions for 9 skiers unaccounted for after an avalanche, which struck Tuesday morning near Lake Tahoe in Northern California's Sierra Nevada range during the area's strongest winter storm of the year. Rescuers late Tuesday reaching 6 survivors who communicated with officials through emergency beacons and took shelter under a tarp. The group, on a 3-day guided trip, were staying in remote cabins just north of Donner Pass. The slide occurred in the popular backcountry skiing area of Castle Peak in Truckee, California, where an avalanche last month left 1 man dead. Lillian Wu, Fox News.
To no one's surprise, New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani floating a massive property tax hike on New Yorkers to help close a $5.4 billion budget gap. He claims it's necessary if the state refuses to raise taxes on job creators.
There are 2 paths to bridge this gap. The first is the most sustainable and the fairest path. This is the path of ending the drain on our city and raising taxes on the richest New Yorkers and the most profitable corporations. And if we do not go down the first path, the city will be forced down a second, more harmful path. Faced with no other choice, the city would have to exercise the only revenue lever fully within our own control. We would have to raise property taxes.
A special education teacher was killed in a road crash in Georgia Monday, and police say the driver who slammed into her is an illegal alien with a deportation order who was being chased by ICE agents at the time.
The crash killed Dr. Linda Davis, a special education teacher at Hess K-8 school. Georgia legislators observed a moment of silence for the teacher at the request of the state representative from Savannah, Ann Allen Westbrook.
Today, we just want to remember all that she gave to the children of Chatham County, which is evidenced by the beautiful picture that we've got displayed.
According to the Department of Homeland Security, the driver, 38-year-old Oscar Vasquez Lopez, is a Guatemalan national who was ordered to leave the U.S. by a federal judge in 2024. In Atlanta, Jonathan Seri, Fox News.
Early voting ahead of the Texas March 3rd primary contest runs from now until Friday, February 27th. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick says the Lone Star State's Republican and Democratic U.S. Senate primaries are being watched nationally as the GOP seeks to cling to its majority in the chamber.
This is a race where, from the beginning, Ken Paxton has been in front. The polls still show that John Cornyn is in second. Wesley Hunt is trailing third now. Of course, we have a long way to go before the election in 2 weeks, so things can change, but it's been pretty steady that long. So this is the biggest challenge John Cornyn's ever had. And this will come down to most likely a runoff for multiple races that we have that doesn't end until May.
A conservative columnist says it's clear that the public is increasingly rejecting the transgender fiction that boys can be girls and girls can be boys. Chad Groening has more.
Robert Nye is a columnist for the Washington Times. His latest column is entitled, "A Long Overdue Reckoning is Coming for the Transgender Racket."
I'm talking about the medical procedures done on minors in particular that are meant to change their sex. You can't change sex. You're either a boy or a girl. Everybody knows this. All you could do is damage the bodies and then pretend that they've somehow transformed in the opposite sex. This has been going on for years. I think it's criminal. I think people ought to be tried and prosecuted and jailed for this.
And Knight says ongoing lawsuits are having an effect.
I talked to a doctor, and he said, well, this is over. The cost is going to be so high that these procedures will end. And he was all for that. He believes they're immoral and not effective and, at worst, criminal activities. But I think this is coming to an end. This insanity, this criminal behavior is not only going to end, but I think there'll be some people who will pay dearly for doing it to these young people.
I'm Chad Groening.
There's more online at afn.net and download the AFN mobile app for your Apple or Android device. I'm Rusty Pugh.
Thoughts of the child you were carrying keep pouring over in your mind. A deep, unrelenting sadness overshadows your days, and you wonder if you will ever feel whole again. There is hope and healing from a reproductive loss. Call the International Helpline. 866-482-LIFE, and talk with someone who has been where you are. Your call is confidential, and we will help you find healing. 866-482-LIFE.
Today's Issues continues on AFR with your host, Tim Wildmon, President of the American Family Association.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to Today's Issues on this Wednesday, February the 18th. Tim Wildmon here with Ed Battagliano, Wesley Wildmon, and now Steve Paisley Jordahl joins us. Good morning, Brother Steve.
Good morning, everybody.
Again, folks, before we go to the news, Wesley, if people want to get our AFR app where they can listen to American Family Radio anywhere in the world as long as they have high-speed internet.
$1.99 a month.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. We don't charge for that. It's free.
It's completely free. Yeah, we haven't. There are other podcasts out there that charge for different reasons, but we don't. We can go to
we could charge?
Well,
wait a minute. Get on board now because
or would our numbers drop to zero?
But it's underwritten by our faithful and great listeners and supporters who donate to our ministry during Share-a-thon and other times throughout the year. Go to afr.net, and you can download, well, you can listen to our radio network throughout the day 24/7 at afr.net. There is a tab, though, that says podcast where you can listen there. But if you scroll at the bottom, you'll see where it says download the AFR app. And once you click that, it will walk you through exactly how to download the app on your phone or your smart device app, whether that be an iPad or other smart devices.
Well, I just know a lot of people have told me the last few years, you know, I used to listen on your radio station, but now I've switched over to listening on the app.
Right.
A lot of people are taking advantage of that.
It has CarPlay. That's why. That's one other reason. So if you download the AFR app and you have a smart car, as soon as you get in the car, it's going to pull up the radio network on your screen as if it's
Apple CarPlay.
Apple
What
CarPlay.
if you have a dumb phone or a dumb car?
Or a dumb driver?
Well,
you know what? Actually, you just call in and ask for Wesley. I probably could help them with that because I'm not very technical.
That's always surprised me. Well, you got a young guy like you.
And he's old school.
I just do just enough.
Yeah, he listens to 70s music.
Yes, I do just enough with technology to do my job.
Hey, all right. You sound like us baby boomers.
I got tired of keeping up with the changes.
Yeah.
I just gave up. I was like, no, not another update. I'm out.
Steve Paisley Jordahl.
Hey,
good morning, Steve.
Good morning.
What do you got?
You guys had all the fun without me. I was gone the first 2 days of the week, and I come back. I wasn't able to talk much about AOC in Munich, but everybody's starting to try to defend it. The left is trying to start defending her. The View, I understand.
Tell us her real name.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, or some people call her Sandy Cortez.
Okay. Because
that's what she was before she was.
But we call her AOC for short. But she does have a real name.
Ocasio-Cortez.
All right. Okay. Wait a second. Now this is brand new to me.
Yeah.
What?
She had a name before she was Alexandria Ocasio.
When she was a bartender, she was Sandy.
Sandy.
Oh yeah, I forgot about.
Maybe that's just easy.
Nobody wants a bartender called AOC.
Okay.
You want Sandy.
Sandy.
Well,
all right.
Not that I would know.
didn't know that. So that was just
Alexandria.
that was kind of like
Sandy.
a stage name, though, right?
Yeah.
That wasn't her real.
Well, I think it's her real name, and Sandy is a shortening of.
Sandy, bring me a brandy. See how that works?
Yeah, you were waiting to say that one.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead,
I'm sorry
Steve.
for the interruption.
Anyway, a lot of people are starting to defend The View, and CBS News had a panel on that was saying, well, she's not that, you can't expect her to know everything. I want to play a couple things because I thought that Ben Shapiro had the best take that I have heard yet. So, if you'll permit me, let me remind people what one of the many flubs that she made, and it was the answer to her question on Taiwan. Let's just briefly rehearse this. Cut 2.
Would and should the U.S. actually commit U.S. troops to defend Taiwan if China were to move?
I think that this is such a, I think that this is of course a very long-standing policy of the United States.
Let me just say that she was texting.
Was she?
Yes, I mean, you got to give her a break.
Okay.
At the time she was answering
It
that
sounds
question.
like she was.
Yeah, no, it
she
does.
wasn't, but it sounds like she was.
Well,
doing something else.
Ben Shapiro kind of weighed into this on his show, and I wanted to play you a little bit of what he had to say because I thought it was pretty good. Cut 4.
She goes abroad. She says a bunch of incredibly stupid things. And that's leaving aside her general message, which was that there has to be class solidarity across countries between people who are poor and people who are rich. But put that aside. I'm sorry, but if you proceed to give an answer reminiscent of that famous clip of Miss South Carolina attempting to answer a question about the Iraq War from 15 years ago, and you're on a national, international stage, that is your fault, right? She apparently prepared for this for months. According to Politico, she'd had multiple sessions with Matt Duss, who is Bernie Sanders' foreign policy advisor. Leave aside the advisability or inadvisability of going to Bernie Sanders' foreign policy advisor for your actual takes on the world. The fact that AOC spent months preparing for this and then proceeded to fall all over herself on basic questions and to place Venezuela below the equator. Again, that is your fault, lady. It's nobody else's fault. You were the one who went. And obviously, look, she was taking her 2028 bike out for a spin. She hit the embankment. She flipped head over heels and went all the way down the mountain. It's her fault.
Talking about personal responsibility.
Yes. I wish we had the teen Miss South Carolina.
Cut 17, please.
Uh-oh.
Recent polls have shown a fifth of Americans can't locate the U.S. on a world map. Why do you think this is?
I personally believe that U.S. Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps, and I believe that our education, like such as in South Africa and the Iraq, everywhere like such as, and I believe that they should, our education over here in the U.S. should help the U.S. or should help South Africa.
that is a classic. I mean, I don't know how many times that's been video streamed. And listen, I saw that lady.
She's a good sport about it.
Yeah, she's a good sport about it. That was 15 years ago or something.
2007.
So I don't want to give her a real name.
I do. It's Kate Upton.
There you go.
Kate. I have seen her, and she kind of makes fun of herself. And she says, listen, I sounded like a deer caught in the headlights. I'm not sure what the deer would sound like in those circumstances. But she said, I blathered, and that was it.
I think she sounded like a congresswoman from New York.
New York.
I think she sounded like.
I think she sounded like she had 3 beers.
And Sandy sold them to her.
Yeah, and Sandy gave them to her.
Anyway, yeah. So I had to chime in a little bit with that.
I'm glad you brought that. That was funny. But
such as.
So,
do
you think that which one is more cogent?
Well, I think the meaty part of what she just says was such as the Iraq.
Yes.
that got me.
That was just stream of consciousness.
For those who don't know what we're talking about, there was a Miss Teen America contest about 15 years
USA.
ago. And I'm sure she's not the first to the last one to stumble over a question. Mm-hmm. You got to give her credit for that run-on sentence she's got going, where it's just complete stream of consciousness. And she doesn't have any idea what words are coming out of her mouth next, but at least she can't sit there and say nothing.
Right.
You gotta have something such as the Iraq.
Who did it better, Sandy or Kate?
I still think that AOC comes out a little better than that poor teenage girl. Listen, I'll say
the reason is because she didn't give anything.
Well, that's true.
It's better to give nothing and
Miss
just
South
say,
Carolina, Miss Teen South Carolina didn't know what was coming her way. She had to answer that question impromptu.
Well, that is a good point.
AOC knew what was going to
6 months worth of preparation. And it wasn't an obscure question. The question about our U.S. involvement if China invades Taiwan.
That's been discussed.
Maybe the number one foreign policy / military question that you would need to answer.
And the larger, I heard the whole context of that thing, the larger question from the reporter was, when you are president or when you run for president, how are you going to handle Taiwan? She hummed and hawed, and then after this, what she did, she gave an answer that basically said, we want to make sure that problem never comes up, so we're not going to, so I don't have to.
Yeah. All right, next story, Steve. Right. I think we milked this for about all it's worth.
I know, but I had to get my such as
such as the next story, Steve.
All right, the next story. I actually found this lady's name. Why do all these immigrants come to America? Are they coming because they are such fans of our Constitution and they see that we have a superior,
the greatest country in the world?
Greatest country in the world.
That's right.
Okay, can I answer that question in a serious way?
You may.
And I haven't done a survey, but I'm just going with the question that the answer that almost probably everybody thinks of first and foremost. The whole world wants to come to the United States. I use that generally speaking. The reason that the entry into the United States is such an envious position is because so much of the world wants a chance at the economic opportunities that America provides,
and freedom,
and the freedom and liberty and our way of life, the freedom to move and to travel and to do things, where you're not, in a communist country, or you're not in a country that's run by drug cartels or impoverished. So it's your best chance at a better life. That's the reason most people come to the U.S. illegally. They're willing to risk it because they want a chance at a better life for them and their family. Go ahead.
Well, and I was going to say, even people from European countries, these aren't failed states. These are good countries. But the amount of freedom, Wesley mentioned that, the amount of freedom you have in this country where you can say what you want and not, like the UK, get a visit from the cops.
Well, there is an Hispanic immigrant to this country. Her name is Monty Lewin, Lewin. Doesn't sound very Hispanic because, well, I'll tell you why later. But she said the quiet part out loud. I want you to hear this as cut.
She an influencer or something? What is she?
Yeah. She's got a fairly popular TikTok, just like you.
So I'm an influencer.
Maybe a few more subscriptions than you do for your TikTok channel. But listen to what she has to say. This is Monty Lewin, cut 16.
Let me hold your hand when I say this. We do not move to America because we think it's a better country. We move here because it's a little less worse than our other countries. Because you're stupid to think that we moved to this country for some hot dogs and some baseball. We have better vibes, music, food, culture, history, literally all of the above. We just moved here because we are looking to make more money and offer a better chance for our families. If you support ICE, you support people getting destroyed. If you support families getting...
Yeah, dump out of that. Sorry. I was going to cut the end of that.
Well, that was pretty interesting what she said there, though, that ICE part.
Well,
so what's her point?
Well, my point is she said the quiet part out loud, which is they think that they love the culture. White culture is such anathema to people that you're not supposed to believe in it. You're not supposed to like it. She disparages white. By the way, she took a white husband. I saw her on her page. She just had a wedding to a very good-looking white guy. But she can't stand America. She's only here to take our money.
Well, go ahead. Did you?
Well, I was just going to also say she said what I got out of the clip is that the first portion of it, or the majority of the beginning, was that she's not coming to America because of the culture. Where she comes from's got better music, better culture, better way of life. But then the only reason only reason people come to America is to make more money and to start a better life for their family.
And we have maps.
And maps.
Which is what I said.
Right, exactly.
I don't know why she had to put down what you called white culture. I mean, I think it's just American culture. American culture. And by the way, I don't think she's representative of the majority of people who come to America who are more appreciative.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. But what's funny is, though, with the liberal far left Democrat Party is teaching that, and that's what they believe.
Yeah, isn't it ironic with a capital I that all these people who want to say America is systemically racist, and yet they want to tell everybody to come to America.
I think that's what she's trying to answer.
and experience the systemic racism.
I think that's what she's trying to answer. She sounded upset, angry at people who say, well, if America's so bad, why are people coming here from other countries? She's trying to answer that, but it's an epic fail.
That's right.
Because she says our culture's better where we come from.
Right.
And my answer I would stop her and say, then why did you come?
Money.
Because what we can do here is better. And you know what, lady? That's part of our culture.
Right, exactly. She says our music's better, our food's better, and I'm going like, well, you know, how do you know that? I mean, I think everybody's food is wonderful.
Yeah.
I think everybody's music from around the world. I can listen.
We got to clip that up. It just sounded funny. Everybody's food's good.
Everybody. I enjoy food from different countries. I enjoy music from different countries.
Yeah.
And actually, America's a melting pot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
and
absolutely.
now, do we traditionally have a European influence that's been more dominant? But even Europe is broken into several different. You got Germany, you got Italian, you got British. I mean, you got all kind of the cultures that are celebrated here in the U.S.
I've seen this on Facebook. These little short videos, the reels. These guys from the UK, they take American food over there. They have someone prepare it. And to like British high schoolers.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And the British high schoolers are trying, food from Popeyes or biscuits and gravy.
Love that chicken.
And listen, these young people go, oh my goodness, that is so good. That is so much better than our food.
It is England.
Well, yeah,
when's the last time you went to an English restaurant?
That's
we got
true.
Italian, we got German, we got English.
But we got good stuff here.
Oh, yeah.
It's good food. It's good. We talk about music from the 70s.
This is a larger
good here,
discussion
too.
on white culture, though, because everybody's allowed to say, she's allowed to say that my Latina culture is superior, and nobody says anything. A lot of people out there in the BLM people would say my black culture is far superior to white suprimacy. When that's
supremacy itself.
Well, I know, but you're not allowed to be proud of white.
We are,
anything.
Steve. We're
black.
proud of everybody.
I'll say this.
Black, white, yellow, red, we're proud of you all.
I'll say this proudly. American culture is far superior to socialism and communism in Latin America. How's that?
Right.
Preach.
Including hush
I
puppies.
say red and yellow, black and white, they are precious in His sight.
Amen.
How about is that a slam dunk?
That's a slam dunk.
Okay, right. There we go.
We missed our
You did the
high
dumper
five.
When I was growing up, when I was growing up, I was 6 years old. We sang that, and I was going, "Well, where are the yellow? Where are the yellow people?"
Oh,
you know,
didn't know any
red and yellow,
East
red
Asians.
and white, and black. I knew who they were,
right?
But where are these yellow people we're talking about here? So, but anyway, yellow refers to Asians. Right?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Steve. What's your next story?
All right. One of the other people that showed up in Munich at the security conference was Gavin Newsom.
Oh, yeah.
And
he brought the Brill cream.
He had almost as much wonderful things to say as AOC.
Yeah, that's right.
And Ted Cruz took a little notice of this, and he had something to say about Gavin Newsom, his time in Munich. Let's listen to cut 14.
Let's be very clear, Senator. That is Gavin Newsom comparing American law enforcement to Nazis.
Yep. Which, by the way, is what Obama was doing too. By the way, just like AOC and Whitmer, Newsom is apparently thoroughly historically illiterate. He said we've never seen National Guards federalized in the states. I guess his history book does not discuss the civil rights movement. He's never heard of a president named Dwight D. Eisenhower. He's never heard of sending the National Guard into southern states when Democrats who refused to desegregate schools resisted. Eisenhower sent the National Guard in. The pattern is the same. In this instance, you have Democrats who are saying we refuse to comply with federal immigration law. Then you had, in the 50s and 60s, you had Democrats saying we refuse to comply with civil rights law. Gavin Newsom is proudly following the tradition of Bull Connor, another Democrat politician.
Let me ask you this question. That was Gavin Newsom, the illustrious
Ted Cruz.
That was Ted Cruz commenting on the
historical illiteracy of
Gavin Newsom. I'm getting I'm been tired of this Nazi.
Yeah.
This Nazi comparison that the left, they bring that out at that's almost their first reaction. If
you don't even get to finish your
no, if you get pulled over for a parking ticket, they say, "Hey, that's a Nazi going after a minority."
Absolutely.
The Nazis murdered 6 million people. They sent them to gas chambers.
Yeah, that's right.
I say 6 million people. They murdered more than that. That's the 6 million
Jews
in the Holocaust. The Nazis under Hitler were ruthless killers, with no regard for. I mean, you had to be committed to the Third Reich, or you could be put to death. So this just throwing out the word Nazi all the time, Ed, it just I think people they get desensitized to the word almost. But they want to say right. Gavin Newsom and others want to say that people on the right support Nazis, like the Gestapo. They say ICE is the Gestapo.
Yeah.
Which is the secret police of the Nazis.
I think they do this because Nazis are the one villain that we can all agree on. Everyone thinks the Nazis were bad guys, that they were evil. And since we can all agree on it, that label has tremendous power. The problem for the left is they continue to call everyone with whom they have a political disagreement a Nazi, and therefore that word actually loses its power.
Right.
Because the conservatives aren't Nazis, like you're talking about. But if you call them that, then you lose credibility on the left. It's a poor strategy, but they're going for the gut-level reaction of the low-information voter who goes, well, I guess they are. Because they don't know what real Nazis are.
They don't know what Nazis are. They call and fascists. Nazis were fascists, and that's another word that gets thrown around, and people don't know what it means. If you ask one of these protesters on the street that's calling white people fascist and ICE fascist, what is fascism? They wouldn't be able to. They have no clue. You'd get an AOC answer out of them.
Yeah.
All right, we got about a minute or two left. You got any happy news, Steve?
Well, it's not happy for an Australian
Don
couple.
McLean wanted happy news.
It's not happy for an Australian couple, but it is kind of interesting, kind of funny. A couple in Australia had their house broken into, and someone stole their car. And they called the police, but the police weren't able to make it that night. But police had traffic cameras out, and they did catch this guy driving. And so they have a picture of the guy. Unfortunately, the Australian government sent them a ticket for $6,258 Australian dollars, about $4,400, because the thief didn't buckle up. And it's their responsibility to make sure that everybody in the car is always buckled up.
That sounds like Australia.
To me, they sound like Nazis.
It might be.
Huh? Am I right?
So they're holding the couple responsible for the criminal being buckled up in the car that he stole from them.
Can you imagine them calling down to the Department of Transportation and they get somebody on that? Yes, how can I help you?
Yeah.
I'm
not paying this ticket.
Yeah, well, sir, you're going to have to call this number and hit extension 4, but they're going to lunch.
Well, so let me ask you, is American culture better than Australian culture?
I think so.
Yeah. I'm saying yeah.
Well, they lost me on mandatory gun buyback.
Yeah,
that's when they...
And they were putting people in prison for not masking.
That's right, yeah.
They lost me at Vegemite sandwich.
And they deserve that. I've never had it, but it
looks pretty rough.
Sounds terrible.
It is.
Vegemite sandwich. Some men down
bitter.
I would like to say we would do better tomorrow, but
tomorrow's Thursday.
How can you do better than
tomorrow's a new day, everybody? Take advantage of the opportunity before you. Right, Ed? Is that what you always say?
Every day is a Friday.
Hey, Wednesday, February the 18th. We're done here. See you tomorrow.